Justin here from Bucks Island. Gonna go over a little bit of a pretty complex rigging job we just finished up on a interesting level here. 2019 ZX190 Skeeter. We did 4 Garmin 942 XS's, because I can't remember the last numbers of them. 942 XS with the side imaging transducer, down imaging transducer in the rear, and Panoptix Livescope in the front. First Panoptix Livescope I've done. So far, super impressed with it. I spent about an hour on the water with it Saturday, and I'm beyond impressed with it so far. So, starting at the front of the boat, like I said, we've got 2 942 XS's up here. One of them is on a ram mount. One of them is on a bridge mount from Precision Sonar. Panoptix transducer is mounted on the trolling motor, just like always, on an Ultrex. So that's a little bit different. Had to figure some stuff out on that, figure out how we wanted to make it work. 2 more 942s at the console. We'll move back that way in just a second. But what we did on the front, we couldn't find a stacker bracket to stack these units exactly how I wanted them. They were too far apart, they were too close together, they got into the trolling motor. We're really up against a really confined space on the front of this boat. So what I came up with was a Precision Sonar standard bridge bracket, the taller version of it, and then a standard large size ram for the front unit. We mounted it up to the deck, so you've got all the adjustability in the world of that unit, or if you know you're not going to be using Panoptix for the day, you can pull that unit off and leave it in the rod box or wherever you want to leave it. We are utilizing the US2 transducer in the trolling motor for the mapping and 2D unit on the back, and then everything else is networked with the units at the rear through the structure scan box or the side imaging box that is in the rod box. So we can show you that real quick. So inside this rod box on the back wall is our Panoptix module and our structure scan module or side imaging module. Also, it acts as an Ethernet hub, so you see the Ethernet cords coming out of this unit. It has 3 ports on it. So 2 of those are going to the 2 console units. The third one is running up to the bow unit so that you can have side imaging up here as well. The Panoptix box is mounted back here for the simple reason of there's not a good way to mount it in the front of the boat. So we put that in here so it's out of the way, stays dry, and isn't subject to a bunch of shock and vibration and stuff like it would be up here in the bow of the boat getting beat around. So we can move back to the console. And this is where things started getting interesting. Most of the time, if I'm doing a dual unit setup on any Skeeter, I would start off by calling one Precision Sonar and asking for a side-by-side bracket, or Bass Boat Technology and asking for one of their side-by-side brackets, but nobody offers a side-by-side bracket for ZX190. So what I did here was used a bracket that Precision Sonar is manufacturing called a PMS bracket. So it's a double stack bracket, so they're both bolted together, and then a Balzout 12-inch arm with double rotating assemblies to get the units level once they got up to the top. So your standard Balzout mount would just be this piece, this, and then the piece that's mounted to the head units themselves. But what we did is we put the 2 pieces in here that rotate, infinitely rotatable. So that's there so that we can get the units level and on the angles we need them on. So that came out really well. The Balzout mount, for as long as it is, you know, we got a 12-inch arm here with 2 units hanging on it. It is super strong, never gonna have any problems with it, and you can always adjust it anywhere you want it. In the back of this boat, the ZX190 has a huge battery compartment, but it is very full. The gas tank's mounted in the rear of this boat, the battery charger's in the rear of this boat. You still have your 3 batteries you have to have for cranking and your trolling batteries. You're kind of limited on space, even though you have a large amount of space in the back of the boat. So what we're gonna do is kind of show you what we did, and we added power pole pumps to this boat. So we'll show you what we did and how it turned out as we open this up here. So in the back of this boat, what you're looking at, on this side of your boat, you've got 2 trolling batteries. Your breakers, all that stuff are easy to find. Your power pole pumps are mounted either side of the boat. Of course, this is your port side power pole, that's your starboard side power pole pump. What you can't really see is all of the electronics wiring. So when I wire this many electronics on one boat, I'm gonna run dedicated power to them. So if you look at the battery terminals and you see there's a bunch of stuff on them, that's why. So if you were to look underneath the back of the boat right there to the inside of the cranking battery, you would see two big breakers there. One of those is dedicated for the power poles, the other one is dedicated for our electronics. All that stuff is 10 gauge wire running from the battery to the front unit and from the battery to the console unit. So we have good clean power for those units. One of the biggest things that hurts units these days is not, you know, transducer location, it's not transducer angle. In my opinion, most people's problems with install is power source. You can never have enough amps going to a unit. So we eliminate that by running 10 gauge to all of our stuff. So in the back of this boat, we did have to rearrange batteries. So the two trolling batteries were flipped. They were sitting side by side, lengthwise with the boat. We flipped those, scooted them all the way over the side, so we had room for our power pole pump on this side. Our power pole pump on that side, we had just enough room without moving the battery tray. And then the charger is mounted all the way to the other side. If somebody wanted to put a 36 volt system in this boat, it is very possible to do a 36 volt system. If you don't have power poles, you can put another battery tray here and have all three batteries on this side, or we can stand your charger up and mount it to the back wall and put another battery on the other side. We probably could get by with 36 volts and two power poles in the back of a ZX190. It would be very tight, but we could do it. So that's all we got today, guys. For any boating questions you may have, any rigging questions you may have, if you need your Garmin's installed, if you have 12 units you want put on your boat, bring it on down to Bucks and we'll take care of it. Come see any of us. We'll be more than happy to help you anytime. Again, check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Our website is up to date. Every piece of inventory we have is on the website. Check us out. If you run into anything you have questions on, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're here 6 days a week.